Okay, so Min asks, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, Minaksh Saini on YouTube asked, can you please tell me about the public transport in Invercargill? I am planning to study over there.
Nice. Invercargill is a really cool town. So if you guys don't know, Invercargill is kind of at the bottom of the Southland. It's often described as one of the southernmost city in the world, despite the fact that there is a southernmost city somewhere in Chile.
Yeah, but it's the southernmost city in New Zealand.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
All right, so Invercargill. Let's start with public transport. Is there any planes that go to Invercargill? Can I get myself from Auckland to Invercargill?
You certainly can. There is an airport in Invercargill, and it's actually one of the cheapest airports to go to locally within New Zealand. I see so many deals for going from Auckland or Queenstown to Invercargill. I think they just want to, push more of the people actually flying down there, because it's probably a bit less visited area, but it's still a really awesome place to go to. So yeah, you can take flights down there pretty easily and pretty cheaply. And also Invercargill is a really good place to actually take flights over to Stewart Island, which is New Zealand's third island, which is just on the just off the south coast of the South Island. It's amazing for its wildlife and stuff like that. So if you do fancy yourself a day trip or a couple of days going to Stewart Island, you can definitely do that from Invercargill as well. But let's get back to some public transport.
All right, public transport.
Going on a tangent about Stewart Island.
Public transport, there are some taxis in Invercargill, and they're about the same cost than anywhere else in New Zealand. And we're going to be linking in the description below with a whole article about taxi costs and taxi customs and everything like that in New Zealand. So it's just down there below. There is really nothing really specific for that. But the one thing which is really specific to Invercargill are bus networks. There is actually a public transport bus network in Invercargill, despite the fact that the town is really not that big. But the public transport is very simple and very cheap, so it's quite handy. Let's start with the price. The price is for anywhere you want to go, from any points, any lines, anything. It's $3. $3. That is it. So nice. That's pretty good. Like I do like that. I think it's it's very clear. I hate when they have like different sections of fare. They have different zones and everything. They do that in Auckland. They do that in Wellington. They do that in Christchurch. You never know how much you need to pay, and it's just nonsense. Now there are 4 different lines of bus in Invercargill. Yes, you heard me right. There's only just 4, so that's pretty short. I have them right here for you. So there is WL, which is the Waikiwi link. There is WC, which is for Windsor Comet. There is the HS, which is Heidelberg Star, and there is KC, which is the Q connection. So that's the 4 different lines that you can have on around Invercargill, and that will cover the majority of all the places where you're going to want to go to. And the bus are quite frequent. Some of them are every like 15 minutes, some of them are every hour, but it really depends on what time of the week you're taking it, what time of the day you're taking it. But the network is actually quite comprehensive for such a cheap network in such a small town, which is quite good. So the buses are actually quite new. That it's not like really old buses and everything like that. So it's a pretty. Honestly, it's really decent for such a small. It's just one of the smallest cities in the country. It's really decent. Now, bus-wise, there is a bus card which is called the bus.
Not the bus.
The bus smart card. It's really cold this morning, guys. It's really cold. So there is the bus smart card, and that gives you a discounted fare. If you are actually using it. So it's one of those cards that you need to reload. So you basically get the card and you basically load, let's say, $50 on it, and every time you swipe it, it will deduct from the money that you have on the card. So it's kind of a prepay kind of system. Now, instead of paying $3 per bus ride, when you have the bus smart card, you only pay $2 per card, which is quite good.
Yeah.
Now, the one catch is that you can only reload this card at a selected amount of places where you can reload it, and you just find this one out. So You can reload this one with the bus driver. You can ask them to top up, so that's very simple. The minimum is $10, or you can reload them at the council kind of building with all the network and the bus network over there, and it's 101 Esk Street. So that's where you can reload it. So it's not as convenient as, let's say, in Auckland, where you can go to so many of the convenience stores to be able to reload cards and everything. So there is a bit more.
I feel like the fact that you can do it with the bus driver, that's the most ideal scenario, right?
You can't do that in Auckland, actually.
No, you can't.
Yeah, so that's actually quite indeed. So and to pay for that at the bus, with the bus driver, you can only pay cash though. It's they don't have the card facilities or anything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Aside from that, you can definitely use your own car around Invercargill. You can also use a bicycle. There are a few bike lanes in Invercargill, but it's not like you don't have a proper bike lane for yourself everywhere. So it's worth keeping in mind. Also, it does rain a lot in Invercargill, so it's not to say that fun to use that. Lastly, for public transport, another way to get to Invercargill is to use the national bus network, like Invercargill. Like Intercity.
So New Zealand has one main national bus network called Intercity, and this is basically your way of getting from A to B on probably the most cheapest transport possible, which is taking the bus. So to get also other ways to get to Invercargill, or if you're based in Invercargill and perhaps you want to go to Queenstown or Tiana, or maybe one of the surrounding towns, the best way to get there would be with Intercity if you don't have your own transport.
Yeah. All right, so that's our take on the public transport in Invercargill. There is not that much to say about it because it's such a very simple public transport. 4 bus network, 4 bus lines, and very simple. $3 if you don't have the card, $2 if you have the card, and boom, you sorted.
Yeah.
So I found that really simple. So we do have a guide of Invercargill with all the accommodations and all the things to do around the city and everything like that, and we'll put that in the description below. It's a really awesome place to visit. It's a place you're gonna really love to spend some time in if you're on a work holiday visa. So make sure you check this one out. And obviously, like and subscribe. I always forget to say that.
Yeah.